up? It's Dave, Mr. White LS1. Thanks for joining me today in the K10. So I want to roll out to the wrecking yard today. There's a couple things I got to get. I want to get a battery tray. I need to get some LS bolts, some stuff for the accessories. Excuse me, water pump bolts. And yeah, I need to get a plug for the alternator and an IAC plug. And then in addition to that, if I can find like an intake, like the whole intake setup off of like a Chevy truck, like an LS Chevy truck, then I'll try to snag that while I'm there. Beyond that, I just want to get a couple more relays that have some larger wiring that go to and from them, and then that way I can pin them into my relays that I have on that little deal. And I think last time I got those off of like the 90s Chevy trucks. I think there's a couple of them on the firewall. I'll have to check it out. And then I also want to get those little distribution blocks off of the 90s Chevy. So I'm going to head out there right now and let's go see what we can find. Thanks for rolling with me. Alright, these are the distribution blocks I'm talking about, and they're on just like, I don't know, mid-90s Chevy truck. So I'm going to get two of them, one for hot and one for ground. Should hold me over. Alright guys, rolling back from the wrecking yard. It was a pretty decent outing. They kind of charged me a little bit more than, you know, sometimes you get out of there and they don't really charge you a lot for stuff, and then sometimes, you know, they get you. So they kind of got me today, but that's alright. I ended up getting a fan with the clutch. I think the clutch is leaking anyways, but I wanted to get it just for mock-up purposes. They didn't have anything off of a full size, so I got one off of an S10, and I figured keep an S10 cool in the desert, it'll keep it's a regular old truck with no AC cool. So I'm gonna try that. I got the phone ringing, so I'll see if I can handle this. Alright guys, as I was saying, turn this AC down a little bit. Tell you what, even though it's about, I don't know, it's probably like mid-70s, I don't know, might even be upper 70s, I don't know. But you're out there in the sun, it's just nice to get into a truck that's got some AC, so man, it sure is nice. Glad I did it. Anyhow, like I said, sometimes when you're out there, you know, they treat you good and they don't really charge you that much. Sometimes they get you. They got me a little bit today, but that's okay. I got some good stuff. I got those two distribution blocks. I got another relay, little relay deal off the S10. That way I got another relay. Plus, in addition to that, what I like about it is some of those have those like the big feed and the big output wires, and so I can just take them out and repin them wherever I need them. You know, if I need one that needs, you know, larger wires, I just repin it, and then it's all weather pack connections, and it's all good. And then I just butt connect, you know, my feed and source wire or whatever. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I did get a fan and a fan clutch. I got it off an S10. Figure if it can keep an S10 cool out here in the desert with AC going, it can keep that truck going nice and cool. So I'm not exactly sure the diameter of it compared to like a full-size fan, but I have to imagine it's probably right around the same size. But I'll see when I get home. And it looked like the fan clutch, it almost looked like the I guess the shaft, or you know, where it connects to the water pump, it looked like that was a little bit longer, so maybe it'll stick it into the shroud. So I'll have to check that out. I wasn't able to find a battery tray. Just there were a couple square bodies, but they were all like, you know, 80 and above, 82 or whatever. Whenever they switched the front ends, what, like 80, 81 or something, I think. So they were a little bit newer, but that's okay. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'll have to alter that battery box that I got, and it'll work out one way or the other. I needed to go anyways, and I figured, you know, if I can find one out there, then I can just bolt it up and be good to go. So, but I'll make this one work. It'll be all good. And yeah, I guess that's all. See my cross member down there? Now that isn't going to really get in the way of an electric fan, which is looking a little bit more likely right now. But anyway, so here's this fan, and it's touching right here, and that's where I'm at. So I try to put my shroud on here. My shroud wouldn't fit either, So now I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do now. Like I said, this is just tacked in place. So I could cut it out, or I could just kind of trim it a little bit, maybe trim it and box it in. That way I can fit this on here. I really want to do an engine driven fan, and it does appear that this would stick in the shroud. So I guess I could test that theory by just kind of holding them up here. Let's do that. Alright, so looking at it from over here, you can see if it were screwed on and sitting all the way back on the water pump there, my distance from the radiator, and then you can see the shroud over there, just to see how far it would be up in the shroud. So I think that looks really good there. Alright guys, out here today, it's a beautiful day. I don't know, about 70-ish with a little breeze. It's pretty nice. Alright guys, since I couldn't find a battery tray mount yesterday, I decided to do this one. I ended up cutting this deal off down on the bottom, and then I drilled the hole in the fender well, which is gonna, you know, be sticking around for a little while, and got that. I kind of reworked that little section right there, got it to bolt up, so that's good. Okay, I'm just gonna burn it onto the fenders. I mean, if I have to pull a fender off, it'll be fine. I'll just go with it. And then I'm pretty good distance away from the plug for the light, so I don't think I'll have too much interference there. But yeah, so should work out. And then I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm just gonna weld it up just like that. And then that way, at least it has a little bit more support down the little fender well there. And then I'll probably end up just reworking that little tab down there and then bolt it in somehow. So that might work. Or move it somewhere else. I'm not sure. But anyways, that's kind of it. I set my battery on off and it fit. It's gonna clear and should be fine. So this Optima, man, I've had this thing laying around for like years. I actually had it wired up in the back of the K5 just for like auxiliary stuff and for my pump and for my air pump and stuff. And when I put it on the charger, it's had like, I don't know, it was about at the 6, so I just got it on a 2 amp charge. So it's taking it, but I don't know, it holds charge. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll hold up for a little bit. I'm not sure. But yeah, so if not, I'll get a new one. But if I can roll with this one for a while, that will be nice. But anyways, it'll be good for testing. So I'm finished getting this mount fixed up. Alright guys, here we are with the battery tray. And this is how it's going to be. I welded it up here. Excuse the welds, but kind of small stuff to weld. But it's good enough. It ain't going nowhere. And then what I ended up doing is, you'll recall this little piece was like hanging under here. I just cut it off. I welded it to the bottom there, and then I welded this back here. So it still has good structure, and I don't think it's going nowhere. And you know, it's bolted in here and bolted in there. And I can take those bolts out. You know, they go through that little deal. I can take them out and remove the fender well and remove the fender without too much issue. So feel pretty good about that. I was gonna screw those in, but you know, I was just like, I'll just weld it. So if I got to take it off, I'll just cut it off at a later time. Not an issue. So now I can set my battery up in here and I can get to work. So let's do that. That didn't take too long. I don't know, an hour or so, hour and a half. Probably a little too much time, but I don't know. Not spending too much money on other stuff, so that's good. Anyways, then it started out a little rough and then it got a little better, but like I said, it's pretty, I don't know, it's kind of small, pretty thin. But anyways, it don't look the best, but it's gonna hold up, so I dig it. So anyways, check this out. Got my cross member out of there. There's a reason why I didn't weld it in there. I'm happy. So I put this sucker up in there, and look at that. I mean, I got the water pump strapped. I got a couple drill bits holding it in, but I just strapped it because I don't have any water pump bolts. So I've been digging through the wrecking yard. I just cannot find them, so I'm just have to order a couple. But look, and that noise you hear, it's just the strap rubbing against the pulley, the front of the water pump. But I think that's gonna work. I think it's gonna pull all kinds of air. I don't think it's gonna get warm at all. What say you? I think that fan, the clutch drive down there, let me get in there a little bit. Maybe this is a little longer on the S10s, I'm not sure. Somebody has a, you know, mechanically driven fan on their LS, like Avalanche or Tahoe or something like that. Check it out, and that way other people can get, I don't know, other people know if they're trying to do this that they can use an S10 fan. I'm sure somebody probably already knows that, but I don't know. I thought it was going to sit in a little too far, and I actually think it sits in pretty good. I think it's gonna pull all kinds of air through there. What say you, people? It's not hitting nothing. Yeah, and then I'll just refit my, so you can see where it was at, and it was hitting there. So I'm just gonna relocate my cross member, just like right here. I think that'll be good enough. So yeah. Anyways, that makes me happy. So now I can pull everything back off and get back to my wiring. I just wanted to test that, and it works, so it makes me happy. Anyway, so I think I gotta go in and get ready. I gotta get going, and maybe tonight I can get back out here for a little while, do some wiring. But I would like to get you a video up, so a little bit of extra room, maybe on the top and on the bottom, but I think it's gonna be okay. Hopefully it turns the right direction, pulls air instead of pushes it. I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you rolling with me, and if I do not get any more, then I'm gonna go ahead and post this up and be my little weekend update. I know it's kind of short, but just slowly but surely plugging along. Anyways, you guys take care. You guys have a great week.